Hey everyone, how you doing? It's Dan here, and in today's video we're going to take a deep dive into Thor. We're going to look at, is it actually a scam? Are they about to pull the rug from under everyone? Or is it actually a legitimate protocol which can even potentially rival StrongBlock? For those of you that are new to the channel, welcome. I'm documenting my journey to get a full-time income from crypto by the end of 22 using passive income and micro caps. I already have a strong node, so that's going good. And I was thinking about getting a Thor node, so I thought I'd actually look into it. Here we are on the Thor website, and at first glance you can see it's not really like Strong at all in terms of they're doing multi-chain yield farming protocol, not actually nodes for service like Strong. What multi-chain yield farming protocol actually means is that you give a load of cash to Thor, they go out and invest it in a lot of other things, and then you get returns from that. And can you think of any recent project that claimed to do this but recently just utterly tanked? Yes, of course you can. It's Ring Financial. So here I've got Ring Financial and Thor side by side, and you can see even the websites look pretty similar, and what they're saying is actually pretty similar. They're both offering a multi-chain yield processing node. They're both offering lifetime rewards. You can't really glean any details from the website, so let's do a quick comparison of the two white papers. So let's check out the two white papers of Thor and Ring and see how similar or different they actually are. And first of all, we're going to look at how does it actually work. So Thor says, the Thor is designed around an innovative and powerful reward mechanism, the Thor nodes. What does Ring say? The Ring protocol is designed around an innovative and powerful rewards mechanism, the Ring nodes. So that's basically the same word for word. Let's keep going. Thor nodes are the tools that allow you to generate high yield lifetime rewards while reinforcing the sustainable growth of the token. What does Ring say? Ring nodes are the tools that allow you to generate high yield daily rewards while reinforce the sustainable growth of the token. So at the moment, it's basically the same white paper, except you're replacing the word Ring for the word Thor. Okay, so then maybe they went to whitepaperrugpool.com and basically pulled the same template. Now granted, there are some things in the white papers that do differ from each other, but generally they're sort of saying the same thing. What I think is also interesting is which DeFi protocols are currently being used by Thor nodes actually has exactly the same answer as one of the frequently asked questions on the Ring website. So at this point, you're probably thinking, well, basically Thor nodes is a fork of Ring, and you'd be absolutely correct. Thor nodes is a fork of Ring. And a way that you can prove that is to actually go deeper than the white paper and look at the contracts of Thor and Ring. So this is CoinGecko, and we're looking at Thor. So you just copy the contract and come over to Snowtrace, and let's bring the contract up. And here's the Ring contract, and you can look at that on BNC scan. So now we have the Thor contract on the left and the Ring contract on the right, and we can just go through and have a bit of a look. So pretty much literally you can just go through all these functions and just see where they are just exactly the same. And just to show you more similarities, you can go to right contract and you can see again it's exactly the same. Blacklist malicious, account address, unit 256, unit 256, and so on and so on and so on. And look, I do got to admit as well, I'm not actually a coder, and a lot of this stuff I don't really understand, but I got this info from another video from a guy who actually did a really in-depth analysis of both the contracts, and I'll leave a link to that in the description. And if you don't know what happened to Ring, let's have a look at the price chart. So you can see it was very high. There was talk about, migrating to a new network, and everyone sort of panicked a bit. Then the price went low and they're like, quick, let's buy more rings so we can get more nodes. And there was more talk about it. People started to panic and the price started to dip. And everyone's like, oh, quick, buy more nodes because the price is cheap. And in the end, it just got, the cat got out the bag, and essentially it was known that it was a scam and it was all going to go to crap. And now the price has just tanked. So if Thor Financial has exactly the same white paper, exactly the same contract, and exactly the same strategy as Ring, is this going to happen to Thor as well? Let's have another quick look at the white paper and 1.5. How does Thor differ from Ring? Besides operating on a more efficient, scalable, affordable, and faster chain, AVAX, Thor also employs the use of protocol-owned liquidity to seek additional revenue-generating opportunities. So what the hell is protocol-owned liquidity? My understanding of it is that when you buy the Thor token, you're giving, a whole lot of money to the Thor wallets, and then they actually take that money, and instead of keeping Thor, they actually change it out to any other type of thing, like AVAX or Strong or whatever, and then they invest in that. Now this is really big because it's sort of the difference between Ring and Thor, in that Ring actually said that this was what they were going to do, but they made tiny investments compared to the amount of money that they were getting, which was a bit of a warning sign and a bit of a red flag. But Thor are actually doing this. Thor are actually getting a crap load of money from people and actually investing, and you can prove it. So here I am in the Thor Discord, and you can see investments. So you can actually see what they've invested and where, and you can go to the hashtag to actually see and prove that they've done it. So they've done 100K into Time, which I'm assuming is Wonderland. They've done 150K into Strong. They've done 200K into Anchor, 250 into Hex. Let's take a look at Strong because everyone wants to see that. If you scroll to the bottom of this page, click on each Hex, you will see the individual purchase of the 10 Strong tokens in which 33 plus Strong nodes were actually made. So here we are, let's scroll to the bottom of the page and you can see here, StrongBlock service, la 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 la, all these. But this is a request access, but if you actually go to this one, pay all, and then go to the logs, you can see node ID 1, node ID 2, node ID 3, and you scroll all the way to the bottom and you can see node ID 33. So here are the 33 nodes that they made. So any of these hashtags, you can go and check, you can actually see that they're doing what they're saying they're going to do. They're actually investing this money that people are giving to them. But here's the biggie, the 7th investment, 1 million Phantom for 2 500K Phantom validator nodes. So that's a big claim. Let's check they actually did it. Yeah, you can see here, two transactions of 500,000. And if you're unsure why this is so significant, is because they actually got a Phantom validator node. It's an actual service that they bought. So it is a NAS, it is a node as a service. And why this is so good as well is because in addition to them getting income from actually validating, you're actually able to stake your Phantom or delegate your Phantom on the node. And the Thor devs can actually take a small cut of this, which will actually go into either buybacks of the token or the sustainability of the project. And you can go on Phantom and check out their node. So here's the Thor node, the delegating address. And as you can see at the moment, 233,000 Phantom has been delegated. And you can see here, all the people staking their stuff or delegating their Phantom. Just goes on and on and on and on and on. And you can see here on Phantom Twitter, they actually welcome the Thor nodes to the Phantom family. Thor nodes just launched a node on Phantom with 1 year lock. And what this actually means is that even if the developers wanted to run away with all this money, they can't do it for a whole year. So all of this is looking pretty good for Thor, isn't it? I mean, they're actually doing stuff. They're making long-term commitments. They're investing in stuff. You know, they really want the project to take off. But what about the issue of the contracts being identical? Surely it all comes down to that. The simple answer to that is that they're actually in the process right now of creating new contracts. But I really wanted to check this out. I really wanted to make sure that they are doing what they say they're doing and they are going to be doing different contracts. So I went onto the AMA with Loki, who is sort of the spokesperson for the team, and he's actually part of the team. And he had this AMA on the 6th of January this year. And question 1 I thought was really good, and Loki's answer was good. I'll just sort of summarize it for you. So the question is, I firmly believe in the project and concept as such, but what mitigating measures are you looking at to put in place to reach a wider audience that may be, I've forgotten, more reluctant after the debacle of Ring? And right away at the beginning, first step we're doing is to make a brand new contract, essentially make a brand new protocol. And he says a lot more, but at the end he says, but the priority here is getting this new contract out and further completely disassociating ourselves from any possibility of connection to Ring. At that point, we're no longer a fork. We are a legitimate protocol on our own rights from our own code. For me, that's a very exciting moment for the life of Thor. And that's great because if they do get a new contract out and they are their own protocol with their own code, then literally nothing is the same as Ring anymore. And when anybody thinks of nodes, they always think of StrongBlock, and this is happening here too. So question 37. So I think what they're asking there is that even when they do transfer to nodes as a service, isn't it still DeFi as a service? And the answer, what we're looking to do is we're looking to introduce a fusion. I think a lot of people have a misconception about nodes as a service model. I'm going to be completely honest, guys. The nodes as a service model has less revenue coming in than DeFi as a service as a whole. And it's interesting what he says at the bottom. It is really a policy issue in the structure. That's the whole point of DeFi as a service, is to remove that Ponzi. is by offering clear streams of revenue independent of new people purchasing notes. And I think he's got a really good point here, because essentially with StrongBlock, like, they are getting a few grants and stuff like that, but the whole concept of StrongBlock is that you need more people to buy nodes in order for you to keep getting your payments. So basically what he's saying is that, okay, well, we're going to do that, but in order to make those payments so we don't need more people coming in, we're actually going to do DeFi as a service as well. So we have our own treasury, so we always have money to be able to pay out to people. So could it be that Thor nodes are actually better than StrongBlock nodes? I think that's really too hard to tell because it's too early. StrongBlock has been around since September 2020, and Thor has been around for a month. So in terms of risk, Thor is actually a lot more risky than StrongBlock, but it could be that, this is like it was in the early stages of StrongBlock, where no one really knows about it yet in terms of Thor, about the new contracts. No one's really dived deep into what's going on with it. It could actually be that Thor is at the very early stages of a really good business model, and it is going to have longevity in it. Or something unexpected could happen and the price of Thor could just plummet. And so what do I think about all this? And am I actually going to buy a Thor node? Well, it does seem through a lot of research that they are actually doing what they're doing, and they are putting their money where their mouth is. They're really transparent and they are working hard to get all this stuff done. But the one thing which sort of frustrated me a little bit is doxing. The team refused to dox. And they're saying that's because of public safety and they don't want people, hassling them or anything like that. But the lead developer has done a KYC, which is know your customer. And basically what this is that they give all their information and, present themselves to a company, and they give all their documents and stuff. So if there is a massive rug pull, this company actually keeps an eye on Thor. And if something bad does happen, they give all these documents to the authorities. And this is the project that did the KYC. It's just Assured DeFi. And you can see here that they've got their NFT. So that does go a little way to alleviate my fears. I really wish they would dox though, because it's like they keep saying, they want to be transparent, they want to be transparent. That's the best way to be transparent. Although Loki, apparently he's all over Twitter. I haven't tried to find him or anything yet, but people know what he looks like on there. If you want to get serious with this, then why not just dox? Once the new contracts are done, and they're scheduled to be finished around about the beginning of February sometimes, they're actually going to get these contracts audited. And obviously that's a really good sign. But what they really need to do, I think, is to differentiate themselves from Ring, because everyone is so burnt and scared that it's just another one of those. They need to update their website. They need to just make the wording different. Some of it's the same word for word. They really need to show that they are different. But I know like a lot of this gets talked about in the Discord and stuff like that. And they are saying number one priority right now is the contracts. That's all they're thinking about right now is getting these new contracts done. And then after that, all the marketing and all that type of stuff will happen. And then what I think will happen after that is that people will actually start to see, oh, this is a legitimate thing. They actually have nodes. They're actually doing nodes as a service, and they're actually doing DeFi as a service. So perhaps this is much more of a safe bet than Ring or anything like that. But this is the DeFi space, so anything can happen. And obviously this is a bit of a risky investment because Thor is only 1 month old. So have I invested in a Thor node? Well, yes, I have. And let's have a quick look at that. We're back on the Thor website, and you can see that I have one Thor node. I purchased a Thor node, and at the moment I've earned 0.27 rewards. And if you scroll a bit further down, you can see the exact day and the time that I did it, and also the name of my node. I called it Misty Mountains. I imagine, Thor was sitting in the mountain. It was all misty, and maybe he was gathering a storm about to smite everybody. And also Misty Mountains Hop is a really excellent song by Led Zeppelin, who is a band that I absolutely love. So let me tell you quickly how the nodes actually work. You can see you've got 4 different types. Heimdall, Freya, Thor, and Odin. And it goes from least expensive to most expensive. So this is 1.25 Thor to buy. This is 6.25, this is 12.5, and this is 78.125. And you can see how much you earn per day. So you can earn 0.2 Thor, 0.13 Thor per day, 0.33 Thor, and Odin is 2.73 Thor. So to figure out how much money I'm actually going to make per month and how long it takes to get your return of tokens and all that type of stuff, I did up a spreadsheet. And so you can see here is my THOR. There's one of them. All this dollar amount is in Australian dollars because I'm in Australia. So we can see here my node is a THOR. It costs 12 to buy, so it cost me 2,000, earning this much. The daily profit at the current price of 166.98 is $55 a day. Monthly profit is 1,600. I think that's about like 1,200 American. And ROT, which is return of tokens, is 37.88 days. So I've written here the date I'll get my return of tokens back is the 25th of February. This return of tokens is really important because you can't claim your tokens before then without incurring a big tax. Here's a screenshot from the Discord showing you the tax rate. So if you get a Heimdall, you get taxed 10% if you claim your rewards before the return of investment. With Freya, it's 15%, with Thor, it's 20%, and Odin, it's 25%. So if you take out your money early, then you're going to get taxed on your gains. However, if you wait until after the return of investment time, you only get a 1% tax. And that 1% just stays 1% until you make the claim. Once you've made the claim, then it goes back to the original return of investment. So in other words, you've got to wait another 30 days or you've got to wait another 28 days or whatever it is. If you do want to compound on other nodes, there's no tax on that, but you can only compound into the node you already have. So I have a Thor node, so any of my earnings I can only put back into other Thor nodes. The only way that you can compound into any other type of node is if you go into what's called God mode, which is where you own one of each. My plan for the node is basically to get my return of tokens as soon as it is humanly available. We can say the return of token date is the 25th of February. So on that day, I'm basically gonna get all my tokens back. Hopefully the price of Thor is round about the same, maybe a little bit less, maybe a little bit more, and I'm gonna get my money back. And the reason that is because I think that this is a really risky investment. So I just wanna get my money back just so I'm safe. And then anything after that doesn't actually matter. Who knows what's going to happen with the price of Thor, but as you can see, it has gone up quite a bit. And, you know, let's look at the last sort of 14 days. It's just sort of ever since here, it's just been slowly and surely sort of going up. I guess it's flattened off a little bit here, but you know, that's only a couple of days, so we'll have to wait to see what happens. So my friends, what do you think about Thor? Are you going to invest in Thor? Are you thinking of getting a node? Do you think it's a whole lot of crap? It's a big scam? What is your opinion? I'd love to know. If you do have a Thor node, what type of nodes are you getting? And are you going to try and get into that elusive high bracket tier of God mode? And until next time, be safe and happy investing, and I'll see you all in the next video. Bye.